Alright. You're on Swedes Garage YouTube channel. So, welcome back. Another YouTube video. So, this weekend I've been really busy, and that's because I've been chatting with a friend of mine in the US, Kim Steele. You know who you are. We've been chatting, and it's giving me a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I got a lot of stuff done. So let me show you what I've done so far, and we'll go from there. So I have, what I can tell from now, I kind of finished the harness in the engine room. Oh, there's the bolt I was looking for yesterday. Cool. I think it's pretty much done. I got a little bit extra left, but anyway. So I mounted the horns here. There's one on this side and another one on this side, and they should clear the radiator. And I've had the headlights on there because I made a bracket for the fourth mounting points on the headlights. I cut this off. I was really thinking when I cut those off. So I made this one, and I haven't made one on this side because this stub of a frame rail needs some adjustments, but that's going to be in another video. So because the headlight doesn't fit really, so anyway, that's in another video. So I mounted the horns, and I had to make some new ground points. So I did one here, and I did one on the other side, and those are with a nut welded on the back side. I also made a hole here in the inner fender well for this is for the side blinker, the side turn signal. They have one on the fender here. That's the turn signal there. So this is a wire for that. That's an extension here that goes down to the turn signal itself. So I made a hole here because, you know, this is 850 stuff, and they don't have they don't have the wires for the turn signal in the fender is not going this way. So I made one on each side with a rubber bushing, keep it nice and clean inside the engine room. So all the wire harness, this one is just laying here because this is for the muff sensor, and I don't know where that's going to end up. So this is just laying loose there. The wire harness I have put together with the tie straps and electrical tape, and this is just a layout because all of it is going to be covered in this kind of stuff eventually, but I don't want to do that now because if I have to change anything or I have to run some extra wires, which is one here, this one is going to be run inside the cab because this is for one ABS sensor. Then I'm going to run the speedometer with, and this is just laying loose here because for example this one goes to the oil pressure sending unit, and I don't have that done yet. This one is to the alternator. The alternator is not on the engine, so I haven't run it yet. I probably have to cut them, they're too long. And this is for the 460 temp gauge. That's over here. So, and I'm gonna take the sending unit from the 2-liter 460 engine. It's outside, and put it up here because this is a water jacket. So, but I get to that later in the video, and you know why. Then you're gonna know why I'm gonna do that. So this is for the starter. Also, I run all of these together, and because I can't do the alternator and the oil pressure, there's no use running the starter motor. And these two goes to the reverse light. You have a sending unit here, and I haven't run that yet either, because you know all is going to be back together. But otherwise, everything else is done here. I even connected the brake fluid level sensor. That's connected. I had to change the plug because it was different for the 460, but the wires are from the 460. And what else? See the wires here. That's for the idle control motor and for the TPS. Everything is connected here. It runs under this one, but I can't attach it in the front here until I get the conduit on it and at least the intake out of the way, because it's too tight. But it comes out on this side. This is for the temp sensor that goes to the ECU, the PCM. You got the knock sensor connector, and this twin wire here, that's an extra made. That's for the oil pressure gauge and oil temp gauge. But it's all connected here, down here. So I got, oops, this one is plugged in. I got power into this one now, so that way I get power inside the car. All the wires that are laying around here, that's for the headlight, and the turn signal is all of this for. I still have to do this one. That's the coolant level sensor. The 460 doesn't have one, the 850 does, and I would like to connect that, so in the future I won't overheat the engine because it's low on coolant. So, but all the wires here is run in, it's down here, and it goes inside the car. These are for the O2 sensors, and I don't know how long they need to be because I don't have a downpipe where the O2 sensor is going to be. This one is for that's for the wideband sensor, and these are the stubs that connect to the sensor itself. So I got some little bit of wires here too. So I don't know how long they need to be, so I just left them like this. They're probably going to be too long, but I deal with that later. But now it goes in, and everything comes out in here. If you can see anything, it's kind of dark. It's a rat's nest right now, but I'm getting there. I'm doing one section at a time on the car. So I've been struggling with getting the engine compartment finished, but I'm almost there. I still got the shifter cables, these shifter cables here. I gotta put them on the transmission and see so I can clear the clutch line, because from here, this is a hard line from here for the clutch, so I gotta see if I can clear that with the shifter cables over here. And I got this one, just it's not connected to anything. This is I guess a brake pressure sensor for the tracks system that the 850 had, but I kept it here because I thought maybe in the future I can use it as like a brake sensor for whatever, you know, like a two-step, or I don't know. I just kept it there, saved the connector, and got a couple of stumpy wires on it. So all these wires, they're gonna be covered in that, and they're gonna be, I mean, attached properly, not just laying around like that. I did some my own temporary clamps here, just to keep it in place. One there, and one there. So I think that's it. And now we come to the instrument cluster, because, well, I wanted this as, you know, this is a budget build. I wanted it cheap as possible. And I've been struggling with the instrument cluster here, what I'm going to do with it. I wanted to keep part of it to get all the warning lights, because I still have the factory 460 wire harness. So, you know, the oil pressure, the charging light, e-brake light, high beam, and while the heated rear window is not going to be used, and I didn't have any. Well, you got the rear fog lights I have, and that's a warning light if a bulb is out, like a headlight or tail light or parking light bulb is out, or brake light. You get that lights on. You got a upper here, it's the windshield washer, but I thought about using that windshield washer light for this, for the coolant level, because I don't have a windshield washer bottle with a sensor in it. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not for the light out. It's up here. It's a bulb with the X on it, the crossed over bulb. And you got the turn signal, and that's a door. I have no idea what it's for, and I haven't looked it up. But anyway, so I wanted to keep it to get all these warning lights and stuff still here. And I also learned that the RPM signal out from the 850 PCM, the box, that RPM signal is for a 4-cylinder engine. So I could use this tachometer. I could use this, but this was from a 4-cylinder. And the red light starts at 6, and the red light on the 850 dash, it starts at 6, but it's not fully red, as you can see. And I think it was like 6.2 or something was the red line on the 850 engine. I'm not sure, but so I could use the tachometer, and I can use the temp gauge. I just need to put the sensor in there. The wires are already run. And the fuel gauge, I'm going to measure the resistance on the fuel sending unit in my fuel cell, and I also got to find out what the resistance is on this factory fuel gauge. I don't know if you can measure that. I don't know. I have no idea. So I thought that somehow, if I know anybody that's good on electronics, maybe if they don't have the same resistance, the sending unit and the gauge, maybe you can do some little electronics in between them to get this gauge to read the fuel sending unit in the fuel cell. That would be perfect. So the only thing left is the speedometer. And this speedometer was driven by a wire, you see here, a wire that went to the transmission. Well, the 850 doesn't have a wire, and the 850 doesn't have a speed sensor in the transmission for a speedometer. The 850 took the speed from the ABS unit, and I'll ditch the ABS on this car, so I can't use that. What I could use is I could put in an electronic speedometer in here, and then you use one ABS sensor and a black magic box that you buy from America for about just over $1,000 crown. And you can get an electronic speedometer to work from one ABS sensor, even if you don't have a complete ABS system. So that was my goal. And I found some, I kind of measured this outside the glass here, and it looks like it's about 110 millimeters. I don't know exactly how big it is, but so I thought about dumping this speedometer and get a speedometer that is 110 mil and put it in here, and then run it with an ABS sensor. That way I can keep this cluster with all the gauges and all the warning lights, and it's going to look like stock förutom the speedometer. So that's my idea and goal right now. From the beginning I was going to kind of redo this with a bunch of extra gauges, but the only extra gauge I need, except the two I have, is the boost gauge, and the boost gauge is going to be up on the A pillar, like old school. So I think that's it, what I have done so far. So also I need to run some wires. That's why I haven't finished this side. This side is full of wires like this. I haven't finished this because I need to run some more wires from inside out for the alarm. So that's why it's not finished on that side. This side, the only thing I have left is I have to check on the wire harness if this is controlled by ground or positive. But it's got one black wire and one brown wire, so it's possible that one of them went to ground and the other one went to ground on the warning light. So when the coolant was too low, the sensor connected these two, so this was ground, and then the sensor connected this to this ground, and it turned on the light in the dash. That's what I think, but I'm gonna look on the wire schematic and see so I'm right. But that's usually how they work. So for this one for example, that's like that. This one of these wires went to ground and the other one goes to the dash, and that would be that light that turns on if the brake fluid is too low. But that light also turns on if you have engaged the e-brake. So on a lot of cars, at least the European cars and older cars, they only have one brake light, and that's for the e-brake and the brake fluid level, those two. And this one, oh there it is, you can't see it, that's an ABS light, so that's got a separate one. And this one is the check engine light. So I have a check engine light too in this dash. So that's my plan for now. We'll see, it might change, but if I can get the fuel gauge to work with the sending unit in my fuel cell, I'm going to use this dash like it is, except for the speedometer. So if you look, if the car is parked somewhere and you're looking inside the car, you're just going to see like a factory dash, nothing special. That's the way I like it. So also, I haven't run any wires from the cooling fan relay because I haven't decided yet what kind of fans I'm going to use. And this relay has a 1 and 2 out, and you got 1 and 2 in. So the PCM controls in the fans itself, I've test run those. Yeah, I had a video on that. I test run those. They are 2-speed fans, but it's got 2 wires for 2-speed. So what it does here is that there are 2 wires from the PCM that goes in the relay. So when it starts sensing some temperature from this temp sensor here, they send ground or power. Let's see. There are 2 of them. How does that work? Are they shifting? So you have power on one and ground on the other, and it runs on speed 1, and then they shift it to run it on speed 2. I don't know, because there's only 2 connectors for the fan out. Oh, this got too advanced. We don't need to get into this in this video. But so I haven't run any wires from the fan here because I don't know what kind of, if I'm going to 1 fan or 2 fans on the radiator. But I've fused this up. This is for this relay. It gives power. All the green wires here, all the green stuff. That's 12-volt power to, like, the injectors get 12 volt. Some other stuff. You have the map sensor that gives a 12 volt too, and there's quite different stuff. The idle air control motor get 12 volt. So all the green ones, that's a relay that's triggered by the PCM. So the PCM triggered this relay. When you turn the ignition on, the relay gets triggered and you get 12 volt power to all the stuff here. And I don't know if in the 850 if it was any kind of fuse on it. So I put a fuse here. That's a 25 amp fuse. We'll see if it's enough or if I have to update it. So, and it gets power straight from the battery. This one is battery power, and this is the feed for the cooling fans. And it's got, I saved that, it's got a fusible link. on the wire. So I saved that, so I don't need to put a fuse on it. And but I think this is it in here. Like I said, there's some small things left, but the major big thing is done. I can't run these until I figure out that washer fluid level light, which I gotta find out which connector, which pin on the connector it goes to, so I can get it here. See, these are the connectors. So I got to figure out which pin it is and run the wires to that one. I also got to figure out if it's ground or not. And oh, that's right, I used this one. I put a fuse box here because this ignition coil, it needed power from the ignition. That's 15, not 30. 30 is battery power, 15 is ignition power, so this needed power. So, and I didn't want to run that inside and somewhere because I thought you might need more ignition powers out here in the future. So I put a fuse box here. I showed that in a different video. But the orange here, the orange wire, the blue one goes to the ignition coil, the orange goes inside the car. And it was already in the 460 harness, and it goes here to this one, and it's not used because if I look on this connector, it's not used. It is, according to the wire harness book I have, it's for an electric fan. But I don't know what kind of electric fan. So this orange one, I'm going to cut it from here and connect it to the ignition. Not here, but you know, somewhere under here. So we get ignition power on it. But the next thing I'm going to do is kind of put this together, put the dash together, and get this one, fix this one and hook it up, because I want to wire up the OBD2 and hook up my scanner and see if I can read the box. So the connectors for the box, one is here and one is up here. So I'm going to clean this up. What was this? See, I don't even remember what this is. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's ignition. Ignition power to the PCM, but I have these. This is from the 460 PCM. So I pulled out here. You got like, this is a that's the, oh, what's it called? The crank sensor. I don't need one. I don't need that one. This is for the fuel pump. Don't need that either. This is fuse number 12. You check what that is. And this is fuse number 8. And this is, come on, turn around. Ooh. So that's ignition, and that is a, just say, oh, that's the RPM signal, and this is a constant plus. So I can take these and connect it to, like this one for example. Here you got that's a temp gauge, but I'm not using the 850 temp gauge. Here's the RPM signal. So like this one for example, if I connect this one to this one, says RPM, then I got the tachometer in the dash working. So I don't have to run a bunch of extra wires from the PCM here. It's going to be under here to the dash. It's already pre-run from the 460 and I saved that. But I think that's it for this video. This is basically almost done here, so I'm going to start inside. I'm going to start to put the dash together. I'm going to run the wires for the gauges, and I also got to do the alarm system and fix this. See if I can mount this somewhere. It's going to be cut up. It's not going to be this big. I'm going to cut it up. So, but that's going to be in the next video. So, I'm working from the front back now. And I just got a lot of inspiration after talking to my friend in the States. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao bella! Alright. End of the video. The only thing left is to subscribe and hit that like button. Welcome back. See you in the next video.